You're doing it. Are you doing it? There we go. Alright, let's get this started, my loyal specs. We're playing some more Torment, Tides of Numenera. Do it. Here we go. We're continuing, and we're gonna keep playing as the Thing. New reflections can appear in the Labyrinth based on your actions in the real world. Some of them can give you special bonuses. That's neat. So you get to see, like, other versions of yourself that have popped up. Is that what it is? You know, I put water on to have tea, and just straight up did not make the tea. That was a good time. Alright. Well, let's go... Oh no, what's going on? I took like 2 steps and a bunch of stuff started happening. Good, yes. Do I have to kill everybody? As you step onto what looks like the back of the enormous construct, 4 strangers approach you. In the lead is a wiry man with parallel scars running from cheek to collarbone on the left side of his face. He gives you a welcoming smile, pulling on grey loves embedded with pulsing lights. He's about to say something to you when he notices Calestige. He's the star, or he came out of it, but what does Cal have to do with this? Cal, I thought you'd sworn off trawling the reef. Found anything tasty? His eyes travel up and down both you and Alagern. Continue? There we go. Odds and ends, Koro. Nothing that would interest you, I'm sure. Her words are calm, but she has gone quite still. What is he doing here? He has something up his sleeve, I know it. Let's... Ooh, this is a good choice here. Do I let Cal know that I can read her thoughts? Yeah, let's do that one. Nothing's wrong, dear. I accompanied Koro on an expedition once, long ago. His methods were too crass for my tastes, though in his defense he never tried to kill me when my back was turned. Or if he did, he failed and I didn't notice. I don't like this, Alagern hisses in your ear, but loud enough that Calestige can hear too. If she's cagey about him, it can only mean trouble. What up, Banjo? You should hear what I tell other people about you, dear. She gives Alagern a venomous smile. Killer or not, she whispers, Koro is not a man who can be trusted with unvarnished truth. Tread lightly. May we pass? Of course, but first a question, one traveler to another. There was a falling star that landed here not long ago. I was wondering if you knew anything about it. Nice scars, how did you get them? Woo! Is just divert that shit. 2 things are more dangerous than death in this world. Asking impolite questions of strangers and playing with Numenera you don't fully understand. My error was in the latter category, and I've grown more careful since. What are the gloves for? Unwelcome but anticipated complications. So they're magic weapons of some sort. He does so love his ambushes, Calestige whispers in your ear again, even though her mouth is closed and she isn't looking at you. He didn't have the gloves when I knew him last, but I'd wager they're connected to devices in the area. So, Koro says, apparently unaware of Calestige's interruption. The star. Have you seen it? Do we fight him? Do we just straight up, like, try to fight him right off the bat? Hang on. Here we go. Allergies this morning are super wrecking my face. We're gonna put on an anti-stop breathing strip. These ones aren't as good as the ones that I get from the dollar store here. I got these ones from Chinese internet. They're okay. They're just not as good. Come on. There we go. Got a little bit more nose breath now. Alright, here we go. I fell from the sky, there was no star. Where did it land? Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be reduced to harassing noble travelers. I never saw it, you see. My employer did, and thought, who is the most trustworthy team I can send in a moment's notice? He winks. Luckily, they were on another assignment. We were interested and weren't too drunk yet, so... What interests you about it? How kind of you to ask, Koro says, clapping his gloved hands together. So few people are interested in the tangled motivations of paid explorers. He spreads his arms as if holding the sky and continues. The world is littered with ruins and fascinating secrets. Trouble is, anyone can claim them. But when something falls from the sky, that's rarer, and a man can make his name off of such find. We're also being paid quite handsomely. That helps. My friend Austin is messaging me. This is a pretty good game so far. The character creation is in-depth and takes a long time, though. Now then, where were we? Enough chat, I think, he says, and there is no humor. What? What have I done? Oh god! I accidentally clicked the thing, son of a bitch! Oh no, oh no, I wish that I had not done this. Red tide raised a moderate amount. Silver tide raised a moderate amount. Alright, we're making this happen then. Let's do this. Crisis initiated. Alright, I use the glowing turret or purple energy to my advantage. I talk to Koro with different party members. In a crisis, characters take their turns in the sequence shown at the top of the screen. That sequence is determined by each character's initiative. Okay. Not all encounters must be solved with muscle alone. Try using the Numenera artifacts nearby or talking directly to Koro. How you choose to solve the crisis is up to you, but there will be consequences to your actions. Alright. Koro, why do you get to go first, you jerk? Ow, my face. Image blocker. Okay, so you're invisible now. It's my turn. Let's see. If I gain some armor? Can't really do much hiding here. Let's activate armor on me. And then move to here. Yeah. Alagaren's body is covered in strange shifting tattoos. He can use the Living Tattoo's ability to pluck a strand of ink from himself, granting him the Living Tattoo's Fettle. While the Fettle is active... God damn it, this thing doesn't work. Doesn't stick to my stupid face. While the Fettle is active, he gains increasing bonuses by chaining together similar actions, attacks, healing, applying other Fettles. If he uses a different kind of action, he breaks the chain and loses the Fettle. This ability does not use his move or action, so you can activate it and then do something else. That's pretty cool. Neat. Alright, Living Tattoos it is. And then... let's go up and fight. 75%? Let's make it a 95, just in case. There we go. Calistasia is a dimensional husk who exists in multiple realities at the same time. She can use this to... what's up? Oh no, the tattoo, I think it just... like, he activates it, and then if he does something else, it deactivates, but he apparently has them all the time. Huh. Neat. Alright, let's... talk to Koro? Take them down! Koro shouts to his colleagues. We need that falling star! Let's talk to him. You're going to get you and your friends killed. Gonna do all of it. Koro, dear, this is foolishness. Your employers cannot have paid you enough to fight a regenerative cast-off and me. I guess I'm just swinging this stick for fun over here. Surely you're clever enough to know your life is not worth the risk. Koro studies you and your companions with new eyes. You can almost see the fight go out of him. Ah, you might be right about that, Cal. We weren't paid for a fight to the death. Let's leave these explorers to their own. I'll tell Salameri the star landed in the bay. She can't get mad at me for that. Salameri! That's a good thing to know. Goodbye, friends. Do we get any XP for this? No XP. Well, isn't that convenient? I knew I couldn't trust Calestige. This is the last time I make that mistake. Excuse me? Are you suggesting I had something to do with Koro's plans? Oh, I cannot abide his rapid paranoia a moment longer. Are you suggesting you didn't? An old friend of yours just happens to be waiting for us, armed and outnumbering us, as we return from the greatest find the reef has seen in years? It's too convenient for me. Too convenient by far. I convinced him to leave us alone. Of course you did, after you saw your plan wasn't going to work. He throws up a hand, forestalling Calestage's report. Look, I don't care. Fact is, I can't trust you anymore, and I wonder why I ever did. This is the last we travel together. I've got enough to worry about without having to watch my back 28 hours a day. You coming, kid, or what? You're really going to walk away from each other over this? I really don't think she was trying to betray us. Yeah, I don't think she was trying to betray us. I do. You haven't seen 1/10 of her depths, not 1/20th. She's a backstabbing bitch, mark my words. You are insufferable to the end, Alagern. Looking for the worst in a situation is the only way you know to see. Do you know how long I've carried your pain for you? How much I've had to turn away from your judgmental stares? But you're right. I've had enough. Child, I am happy to guide you, but I will not walk another step with this paranoid buffoon. Finally, something we agree on. Kid, she'll chop your head off and spit down your throat. I'll get you where you need to go and let you sleep at night to boot. It's up to you. So I can either go with either, try to go with both, or go with none. Can't you just work it out? My dear boy, we have been working it out. Alagern's petulance, his obstinacy in the face of fact drive me away every day. He might be strong, but he's also thick. I dare you to try traveling with him and see how long you endure. Not as long as I have, I'll wager. His face darkens under her accusations, but he manages a pained smile. As if you're doing me a favor by staying with me? Do you think I don't see your true self in all those echoes around you? That's you, Calestige, every facet of it. Your vivisectionist's heart hasn't changed, just the way you present it. I thought I could help you, but... Alright, well. I like the idea of traveling with this girl, but this one does seem safer? It's safer to travel with Alagern, but Calestige is so cool, though. Screw it. Let's go none. Makes sense. He shoots a fraught look with meaning at Calestige. If you change your mind, you can find me in the underbelly. I travel around, but I'll keep an ear to the ground for you. At least she's not staying with her. On the other hand, if you'd prefer civilized company, you can find me at the Order of Truth. I will be happy to aid your quest. But do not come with Alagern in tow. I will not suffer him again. The feeling's extremely mutual. Fair word, child. Come find me. So I may have just screwed myself hard. I think I just screwed myself hard. Alright. Welp. That happened. Just gonna... Freaking goddammit. Well, I don't have any partners anymore. Which I think was a bad idea? Oh well. We'll probably be fine. We'll probably be fine. I have no idea. I was like, hang on, are we stuck at 75 freaking% right now? Oh, look, what have we done? What have we found? Unmoved woman. Spectator. So this one's got a name and no one else does. What have we got here? A stout middle-aged man stands atop the execution platform. Oh shit. He wears the badge of a city official, and a fringe of dreadlocks hangs down to his shoulders from his otherwise bald pate. He gives you a disinterested look as you approach. Please stay back with the others. What's going on here? He casts a brief glance over his shoulder toward Riss. The prisoner, Riss of Flatwater, is being publicly executed as a warning to all who would flout the laws of Sagas Cliffs. What is Riss's crime? Treason. He sold state secrets to the enemies of Sagas Cliffs. How does the execution work? Another rustic. It is very simple, sir. Our nanos induce him in a hallucinogenic state. In this state he experiences visions. Nightmares, really. He speaks of the things he sees, and his words become flesh as they leave his mouth. We shape the flesh into a human-like form, the death you see beside him. As more strands escape his mouth, his death wraps them around him, and they slowly crush the life out of him. That is super fucked up. Holy shit. Once the condemned is dead, the devourer of wrongs will eat his corpse. Thus is justice upheld in Sagas Cliffs. Why does the devourer of wrongs eat executed criminals? He is of the Dendra Ohur, who can suck the memories of the dead from their marrow. In those memories, he is not only the proof that the condemned were guilty, but also the names of their compatriots and associates. Many an accomplice has been found out in the belly of a devourer. I'm sure Riz wasn't working alone. We'll find all his friends soon enough. Let me ask you something else. That man over there told me he was involved in Riz's crime. I'm gonna get killed. Captain Tabir, the war hero? Nonsense. I've had drinks with the man. He just has a passion for justice. Farewell. Tabir, then. Pacing the edges of the crowd is a paunchy old soldier, so I should have talked to him first, I think. At the moment, however, his jauntiness seems overshadowed by worry, and he alternates between watching the execution and searching the crowd as if looking for a miracle. I've never seen his face before. This might just be the break I need.
You look like someone who believes in justice. How'd you like to help a poor soul wrongfully condemned?
What kind of help do you need? I don't need anything, but my friend there on the platform is dying. The nightmares his executioners have induced in him spill from him with every word he speaks, and wrap around him like a snake. I know there are but a few strands around him now, but in a few days' time they'll choke the life out of him. I cannot imagine a more horrible way to die. Well, that's not true. I have an imagination that would shame a sailor. You'll need to be swift and willing to hold justice above the law, but there is a way to save them if you'll hear me out. Who are you? Captain Lashan Tabir, retired, he says with a little bow. Extremely retired. Once a soldier of fortune, now its plaything. But my story can wait. Saving Riz's life comes first. Why is your friend being executed? A misunderstanding, he says, waving a dismissive hand. Riz and I were hired to deliver some expensive brandy to an out-of-town buyer. He sighs. Would you believe the bottles were stuffed with state secrets? Riz was accused of selling information to the enemies of Sagas Cliffs. They call him a traitor. It was a travesty, he growls, his eyes blazing with righteous fury. The poor lad had no idea what was in there. If he'd known, he might have escaped too. Then we wouldn't be in this mess. But you did, right? Well, there's a place for talking about what I know and what I don't. This isn't that place. If you were part of the scheme, why aren't you up there with him? Luck? I was taking a piss when they came for him. Jesus. Went through the back window and scampered up to the roof. I watched poor Riz being led away from my hiding spot. Swore I'd get him free. Hope it's a promise I can keep. Why are you helping Riz? Is friendship not reason enough, he declares. Then his shoulders sag and he hangs his head. Actually, truth to tell, there's more than that. I'm partly to blame for him being up there, and guilt's a strong motivator, eh? What's your plan? A simple one, but it requires nerve. Listen. It would be nothing for someone of your noble demeanor to masquerade as a city official and ask the council clerk for an archived copy of an old stay of execution. Once you have it, I'll write out a fresh one and add Riz's name. Then we'll present it to the overseer here, and poor Riz will be set free. There you have it. A foolproof, risk-free plan. There you have it indeed, huh? Would it be simpler to talk to the crowd at the execution, convince them to rise up and free Riz, huh? Well, you're welcome to try, friend, but leave me out of it. Sagas Cliff's crowds are notoriously bloodthirsty, and the execution officials are not known for their sense of humor. You may regret it later, and you'd be alone when you did. Too many unknowns in a scheme like that, not enough escape routes. Alright, this sounds like an extremely risky plan. Nonsense. It couldn't be simpler. Just be calm, confident, and wear a winning smile. He gives you a winning smile. Where do I find the council clerk? He'll be in Government Square, of course. There's a podium outside of the council tower. I can't think of a time he wasn't there. Screw it, let's get in on this. Excellent. Then you will need a proper story and a badge of office. Fortunately, I have the first, and you can buy the second from Sangolin, the clothing merchant in Government Square. Once you have a badge of office, you will tell the council clerk you are from the Judicial Oversight Committee, looking into corruption in the commutation of capital sentences. The stay you're asking for is that of a notorious gangster named Cole Cardine, who was mysteriously set free a few years ago. When you get Cole's stay of execution, I'll make a copy with Riz's name on it, and you can give it to the overseer who will free him. You see? Simple. Now, if you'll let me join you, I'll be happy to show you around the city and help you with all this, and whatever else you have going. What do you say? Yeah, let's get a criminal on my side. Sounds like a good time. What do you have to say, horrified man? No crime deserves such a punishment. How can this be allowed? They are animals. They find pleasure in cruelty. Utter nonsense. Punishment for bad behavior won't change a man. Reward for good behavior is far more effective if that's what really mattered to the authorities. This is nothing more than spectacle, an amusement for the masses. If I had any courage. What if I joined you? Join me and let's put an end to it. End? Are you saying we should interrupt the execution? You said the punishment should not be allowed. Did you mean it? Can a just man stand by when injustice is the law? I will do it for justice. Let him go! Let him go! Let him go! Let him go! I hate this song so much! Spectator, intrigued woman. What do you have to say? Can you understand it? I know he is speaking great wisdom, if only I could decipher it. What if I told you he was innocent? That would be terrible, wouldn't it? But his words seem so wise. Even if that were true, it is wisdom gained through another man's pain. Oh, so you'd stand by and let an innocent man? Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Ho, 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 ho. I didn't know. That would make me appear heartless, wouldn't it? To tell the truth, I still want to hear his words. Does it matter? He's going to die no matter what I do, and what he says could be important. As important as an innocent man's life? Help me save him! Wisdom can be gained without harming. Okay, so I told this guy that I was going to help him go and do all this sneaky shit, and he's like, okay, but don't involve me in this other plan. And now I'm doing the other plan instead. I will throw this down. Did it work? Yeah! Sweet deal. Oh, frickin' sweet! I got my stat pool back. Awesome. The woman hangs her head. You're right. I have put my curiosity above a man's life. I will do this. Justice! Spectator. The lovely words of a dying man, huh? Unmoved woman. Spectator? This one will have some stuff. Depressing. If you find it depressing, why are you watching it? I was just walking by. I don't know why I stopped, really. Something in her manner makes it feel like there's more to it than just that. You stopped because you were a good person at heart. It moved you. Or you stopped because you want to do something. You want to be the one to make a difference. Legacy has shifted. Me? What can I do? I'm a nobody. All I can do is watch. He's right. But what, do I just tell them to stop? Many in the crowd are ready to act. They outnumber the levies 4-1. All you have to do is lead them. I've seen you watching the crowd. You outnumber the levies 4-1. Yeah, let's do this one. You're right. I just incited a frickin' riot. This is great. With numbers on our side, we can do it. I'm ready. Let's end this. Excited, man? So let's entice him. Traitor, traitor to the city. Nothing better than seeing a traitor die. Do you truly care if he's a traitor, or do you just like watching men tortured to death? How dare you! It's justice that's important to me, and protecting my city. And is justice always handed out equally in Sagas Cliffs? I'll bet the rich never pay for their crimes. Then I think you'd be interested in making sure the real traitor gets caught. Ooh. Legacy, huh? Are you saying this man isn't a traitor? That he doesn't deserve to be up here? He does not. What do you know that I don't? This poor fool took the fall for somebody else. That's a mockery of Sagas pride. We should free him! 75%? Yes! Ha-ha! The man grinds his teeth, thinking, Aye, a small fish are always taking the fall, but not this time. Free the prisoner! Free the prisoner! Let him go! Let him go! I saw what you did, you rabble-rouser! This is your doing! Well, I'm not risking my life to intervene in the fate of a worthless piece of belly trash. If you want him, take him! Unmake the prisoner's death and retreat! He isn't worth our blood. At his order, one of the levies takes out a device like a circular mirror and squeezes its frame. The mirror spins, flashing shards of light across the death in the umbilical viscera as it is wrapping around Reese, and all of it disintegrates. Neat! Goodbye! Welcome back, Reese. There! Satisfied? With that, he and the levies turn and march away as the crowd surrounds the platform and cheers. One man's life for the price of 4 sounds decent to me. Tibier's opinion of you has improved. Oh, look at this, huh? If you're the one who got me out of that nightmare, thank you. But where's that... There you are, you slippery bastard. Now where's the money? If I went through hell for nothing, I'll... The bastard left me out to dry, I know it. A whole day, Tibier. I spilled my guts up there for a whole day! Yes, about the money. You see, Riz, I was hoping to get a reward for turning in the fellow who sold us that brandy without telling us about its secrets. But? There's always a but when it comes to money, isn't there? I should have known. You only said you'd pay me so I wouldn't squeal on you, and you only saved my skin to save your own. Now, am I going to have to fight through your friend to get to you, or are you going to step out from behind him and take it like a man? Calm down, both of you. There isn't much to tell. Captain Silvertongue here talked me into a dirty job, then disappeared like an abacus, and left me holding the bag when it all went sour. Oh, Reese, can you blame me for running when I had a chance? You would have done the same, and besides, if I hadn't, we both would be sentenced to die, with no one to free either of us. Lucky that. If my tattooed friend hadn't come along, we'd both be executed in any case. You only wanted to free me because you knew you'd be next on the block once the Devourer ate me. The Devourer would have found you guilty, Tibier. Is this true? As far as it goes, He would have learned about me if he had eaten Riss, and I did manage to escape the levies when they showed up looking for us, but I didn't abandon you, lad. Riz, I escaped the levies and saved you from the devourer of wrongs because I love you and did not want to see you die. You have to believe me. Escaping the levies was just good luck, that much is true. Do I? Riz says, cracking his knuckles. I think you should make amends to him, Tibir. And you can start by giving me my share of the spoils. Riz, you don't know what you're talking about. I never got paid, I promise you. This isn't over, you self-serving bastard. Hide behind your friend if you like, but he won't keep you safe forever. What? I was on your friggin' side. Oh, darling, you want my Maximilian Pegasus impression, Morgan boy? I think there's far more to it than just that voice. Hi there, traveler. Let's have you talk. What do you have to say? Are you new to Sagas as well? Kind of.
Thanks for helping me free Riss, lad. Not that, but a little appreciated.
So was it like Riz said, you only freed him so you wouldn't be implicated? Should we be watching our backs? I'm inclined to believe Riz's side of the story more than yours. I'd be a liar if I said that wasn't part of it, he says, looking at his boots. But I really do care for the boy and wouldn't wish him harm for all the world. And I could have run. I could have. Probably not far, though. Do you think he'll make good on his threats? I wouldn't worry about it, he says, chuckling. Riz doesn't have as many friends as he thinks he does. I was practically the only one. Unless he makes friends of my enemies. Best not to think about it. It won't happen. You're a good friend. Red Tide... I don't know what the tides do, man. A wince flickers across his face, brief as lightning. Tell me about yourself. So you're a captain. Retired, he says, raising his hands in surrender. I've been on my own, more or less, for a handful of decades now. Still, having a captaincy under your belt opens doors, lifts dresses, and drops trousers, so I tend to wave it around whenever I can. What's your story? Oh, the usual. Farm boy joins one war or another. Oh, Morgan, don't worry so much. It's not like you're gonna get a VHS in the mail or something. He doesn't die but gets a sound spanking by the world until he learns to spank it back. And I don't blame you, he declares, clapping you on the shoulder. But I'll warn you, I've never had a handle on what people consider too much information. Never looked for one either. Go on, ask your questions. I've got answers for every one. Tell me about your life as a soldier. Well, that was weird, sorry. Well, I wasn't the best or the worst, he says with a shrug, but I started at the bottom, fell out to the side, and ended up a gallows glass on my own. It's not an easy life being a mercenary, but you try to fight for causes you believe in, and avoid striking blows that aren't deserved. And you try not to fail at both while the realities of life batter you into new shapes. Change you. Some of the best days of my life, those. You said the realities of life changed you. How? Not one for the light questions, are you? My father raised me to be honest. Well, honesty works on a farm. Animals don't lie to you much as a rule. But a soldier... Put it like this. First night in the camp, I was mugged by my sergeant and left for dead. All because I thought an honest face meant an honest heart. It's the honest ones you have to watch out for. So I've adapted my approach over the years. I reward kindness with kindness, cruelty with justice, and foolishness with object lessons on the way of the world. He winks, but there is something somber there. Everyone has their lessons to learn in this life. Best that your teachers are kind men, I always say. Who have you fought for? Whew, he says, with a misty look in the air. I fought for a number of causes over the years. My first fight was alongside the rugged cattlemen of the plowshares, trying to keep the slave families of the Sagas Protectorate from getting their hands on the Baird folks' grazing land. He shrugs. But I've been all over the map, and off the edges too, having good times and bad. Went with the Ailu rebels, the White Company, even fought in the Endless Battle for a while, until I figured out my commander was lying to me. Walked away from a hefty purse on that one, I'll tell you, but it was the right thing to do. And the safest, and the sanest. Should have left earlier, pay or no pay. What's the Endless Battle? Of course I can. But for a moment he seems he won't. His mouth works, but no words come out. It was more a nightmare than a war, he says at last. We marched out one morning to take a certain hill, and we took it. Then a shivery little ripple crossed the battlefield, and we were back on the march, heading for the same hill, only this time the other side routed us. I lost this arm. You'd think our commander would have given us the rest of the war off, but no. She kept making us fight until the waves of time died down, and we took that damn hill and held it. I'm certain I died a few times myself, but here I am, still whole and handsome as ever. What's the point of the Endless Battle? The fighting itself is pointless, all those lads and lasses dying for a cause centuries old. Now, I know I just described any war, but we both know that when certain people make a tidy profit from a bloodshed on a grand scale, and the Endless Battle, well, it's endless, and that makes it endlessly profitable. More questions! Tell me about your past. You do, he says, taken aback, but he recovers quickly. Of course you do. Which part? How about one of those good times you mentioned? Oh, I've had plenty. More good times than bad, even as a gallows glass. But of course there is one that stands out. My partner at the time, my old sergeant, and I heard of a scrap brewing on the border between two mercenary armies over territory. We got there and knew it was going to be a bloodbath the moment someone went for a weapon. They'd been rivals for too long, see. It's a sad, sad thing to see professional killers turn violent. Pardon me? Now, I was thinking we should get back on the road and as far from the fights as possible. But my partner, he was a tinkerer. He had these 2 rings he was messing with at the time. Claimed they could link minds. He wanted to plant one on each side, get them seeing things from the other's point of view. I couldn't talk him out of it. He snuck around in the dark of night, cursing and thumping, setting up the damn things in the rival camps, and ran back to our distant hill to watch. And all night long we heard strange things, sort of wet sounds, laughter, happy and sighing. Oh, good. Then dawn came, and there was a different kind of war going on in the mud below. The kind where everyone wins. Whoa! We started a war-wide orgy there. Good, yes. Turns out that once they got a taste of each other's thoughts, they found they hadn't wanted to fight each other after all. Not exactly. And that was Alvi for you. Always bringing out the truth in people. A better man than I deserved, certainly. That's frickin' awesome. Who's Alvi? Oh, let his name slip, did I? Alvinho was the old sergeant I mentioned. First we were partners, then more than that by a long shot. But, well, you know things. They change. I haven't thought about that man in years. Ah, that was why I haven't thought about him. Too hard. Too hard, if you know what I'm saying. Hey! You can't help but noticing that his hands, hooked to his belt, are trembling. Huh. Alright, well, let's talk another time. I pried some stuff out of him. What a great story that was. Do we have some sort of weird beholder trapped in here? Hello, Otero, what is your thing? You are a child, aren't you? Wind spins off the distant sea, sweeping between you and the boy, whistling up toward the peaks of Sagas Cliffs. He glances at you, then at the crowds in the plaza beyond. He begins looking for somebody. Would she have come to the city? Doesn't seem like her kind of play, but... Saw you wandering down in the reef, he says. Did you get to that star before the others did? He looks back at your face and grins. Guess not. That interface found... What? That interface that's found a good... Oh, I should be using like a super cockney. Guess not. That ain't the face that's found a good pick. Don't be rude. Don't be rude, Toho. There's nothing to find down there. I was the falling star. Oop, got some change. Sure you were. So that's kiss to someone else. But despite his hard words, his eyes settle on yours, studying, deciding. Look, you hide it well, but I can tell you're new round here. I ain't trying to offend you, but I don't like leaving folk new to Sagas on their own. If you've questions about the city, or Circus Minor in particular, I'll answer 'em free of charge. Just this time, maybe till the end of the day. I don't usually give away advice for nothing, understand? Sure, but what makes me so special? You? Nothing. Like I said, I hate seeing people lost, and I figure you might be. I'm looking for the cult of the changing god, or where's the Order of Truth, or we're in Circus Minor. So we're in Circus Minor now. Here, the heart of the city, he says, folding his arms. The levies and politicians tell you that the government square is the centre of Sagas Cliffs, but they're not thinking right. When folks come to Sagas, they come here. They talk and trade, flirt and fight, tell stories. Everyone who comes here leaves different. Anyway, what you want to know? Does anyone around here know how to fix complex machinery? Prata, that's the bug lady in the market, is pretty good with machines. You might ask her for advice. Otherwise, you'll want to visit the foreman in the underbelly. They might be able to fix it if they can start fighting long enough. What are you doing here, anyway? Just got back from a scrounge, he says. I'm here trading salvo for supplies before I set out again. Enjoying the sights, you know? Where would she have gone if she came here, and why? You can't help but notice that he doesn't seem to be enjoying himself. He looks downright unhappy, guilty even. Who are you looking for? Girl I met a while back, he says, at last looking away. She was new in town, like you. I'm just wondering what happened to her, if she's okay. Anyway, you have any other questions? It didn't look like she broke camp, more like she left in a hurry. Let's go talk to the bug lady. What have you got to say, Seer? Every prophet's got to eat. How's about a little donation, eh? Just making it up as I go, pal. No worries, it's all in fun. Is that how it really is? What about the arms merchant? What can I get from you? The arming room, buy, sell, and trade. Under the awning, a skinny man with stooped shoulders and a concave chest is cleaning a filth-caked weapon of some kind. Done in a moment. Have a look around. If you need anything, let me know. What can you tell me about Sagas Cliffs? Good place for the arms trade. Not much call for weapons in the city proper, it's true. The levies keep things quiet. He shrugs. I get most of my business from mercenary companies. The endless battle draws them by the dozens. Explorers, too. Plenty of carcass save up their shins and kit themselves out all fancy-like. Then they wander down in the reef or into the bloom and never come back. What have you got for sale? Oh, look, got a rapier. Rapiers are cool. I've got 53 shin. What do you cost? I can sell the crystalline shard. Get 28 shin out of that. What is this? You look weird. What about this cool axe? Ooh, ranged weapons. Ranged weapons actually seem pretty like a decent idea. Broadsword is 3 to plus 4 damage, but it's a physical... Max plus 9. And it gets 15% bonus on weapon attacks. That's actually quite nice. Yeah, let's buy this thing, I think. And then, can I sell this guy? Can I sell it? How do I sell it? I guess you don't want it? Huh. I guess you don't want it then. Alright, well. I'm going to go ahead and equip myself with this. Ah, that's what it is. You have to unequip it first, and then sell it. Okay. Neat. He kind of looks a little bit like a drunk Robert Downey Jr. I see blood on the walls and a howling doorway. Who are you, Staristi? Bah. Nearly every inch of this merchant's body is covered in tightly wound robes and furs. A hood obscures his head and a mask conceals its face. It caresses a cracked ancient scroll with dark fingers. It notices you and gently taps its similarly dressed companion on the shoulder, leaving a smudge of fibrous ink. Surprise embitterment. Falinda recognized the thief at once, the creature says, crossing its swaddled arms. Perhaps he imagined that by speaking with Staristi he would evade Falinda's notice. Unfortunately for him, nothing ever did. Why is your partner narrating me? Staristi either ignores you or does not hear you. Why won't you talk? The merchant does not acknowledge your question in the slightest. Watch Staristi work. The merchant's spread-fingered hands glide over a faded parchment with the faint sounds of quill scratching. Vibrant letters in an unfamiliar tongue appear in their wake. Actually, I should probably watch more, shouldn't I? Watch Staristi work some more. No. Pass the hand over a page and you hear the scrape of quill on paper. Dark letters emerge from the shadow of that hand, as if pulled from beneath the page. Okay. So let's talk to Falinda. Let's see. Every inch of this merchant's body is covered in tightly wound robes and furs. A hood obscures its head and a mask conceals its face. This doesn't stop you from noticing that it is apparently furious with you. Trembling, it bats at its similarly dressed companion. Both of them turn impassive masks back to you. Neither Falinda nor Staristi could believe it, but the thief had come back. Had he come in shame, ready to return what he'd taken? No, his hands were empty, his expression baffled. Perhaps the thief had simply forgotten to return what he had borrowed, but this made him no less a thief. Are you narrating me? The thief said, trying to distract Falinda from the matter at hand, but the merchant would not be distracted. Besides, the merchant had been asked this question many times. What is going on here? 10 years ago, this thief had borrowed a book. Falinda wondered if the scoundrel was possibly unfamiliar with the definition of the word. It did not mean taking a thing and keeping it after all. But in the end, Falinda took a deep, deep breath and asked the thief to simply return the sealed and long overdue book with the 5-colored sigil on its cover. Huh. How can you possibly remember who borrowed a book from you 10 years ago? The cunning thief said, hoping to arouse doubt in Falinda's mind, but the hope was a foolish one. Falinda was memory in the same way that the thief was fatty tissue fluids and chunks of calcium. Falinda was out of patience. Was the thief going to return the book or not? I'll find the book. Blue tide? Indigo tide, okay. The thief declared, and Falinda was satisfied, temporarily. Why do you narrate everything I say? The thief said, but Falinda knew from long experience that there was no explaining it. This frustrated Falinda. After all, the two merchants were creatures of words, bound in metal and cloth, but whenever Falinda tried to bend these same words into explanations and answers, they crumbled and fell apart. They could not fold themselves around the truth. And so, Falinda said nothing, and once again Falinda was exonerated. The thief knew he was a thief. The thief pleaded. He still did not understand that Falinda wasn't speaking, that what the thief was hearing was the passage of time. Interesting. These two are books. That's what it is. They are books. They are books in person form. El Ginto. In front of you is a weary traveler whose grim visage is mostly obscured by a pointy hat. Upon closer inspection, the lines on his face indicate that he has seen much and has many tales to tell. "Hello there, friend," he says. "Here to see the Nycthemeron, my friend in the cage over there? Or are you just looking to spend a word or two?" Nycthemeron. I think I got that right the first time without stumbling over it. That was pretty cool. I want to see the creature up close. Your curiosity does you credit, friend. It'll only cost you 25 shins. That's too much. I'm the only one in line. How about 10 shins? What about you? I can use your stuff to do it. Let's do this. There we go. Worth every shin I promise, he says, pocketing your admission fee. Visit our guest whenever you're ready. What is the thing, anyway? He's far from mine, friend, El Ginto says with a raspy chuckle, as you'll likely see if I get close to his cage. Go on, ask your questions. What is a nycthermeron? A biomechanical union of stubborn curiosity and frothing malice, he says. Who made them, no one can say, but they cannot be trusted or befriended. Cross their paths or thwart their incomprehensible whims, and they'll kill you if they can. Wait, you called the creature he? Is it male? Could be. Could be female or genderless or many-gendered. Who can say? I have our friend imprisoned, and I feel better about that fact if I don't call him it. How did you capture it? I suppose you could blame luck, he says. Little early to call it good or bad, though. His eyes seek the sky as he begins his story. I was working on, well, let's call it a trap, in a valley through some nameless ruin. Canadu was off hunting for dinner, and I work in a daze. Always do when I'm concentrating. Near sunset, the trap was still in pieces, and I heard Canadu roaring my name. I turned just in time to see our guest bearing down on me. The creature's volley of molten energy crackled off the personal barrier I'd left active while building the trap, but I knew it couldn't hold. Then Canadu leapt off the valley edge into the nycthermeron's back, bashing it with his hammer. It shrieked, and then night fell and the creature went still. I worked, a touch frantically, I admit, to finish the trap. It hadn't been designed for our guest, but as you can see, it worked. Lucky it did. It gives me a lot of confidence for our trip back to Lauric, too. How'd you get the creature into the city? A fair question, but a longer answer and not as interesting as I'd like. So let's just say that the trap is more, collapsible than it appears. What are you going to do with it when you're done? We're likely to release it and run as if every kind of demon in the world is after us. We're not trappers, see? We're explorers, and we're only in this to save up some coin for a journey across a long patch of ground. Not that our motives make much difference to our guest. He'll want to boil our skins once we let him go, and I can't say I blame him. We should do it at night, but even then I expect he'll try to kill us. What else can I ask you? Ooh, it must be in desperate shape if you're patrolling the circus talking to strangers, he says. Do you have a piece of the device? It might be that I can offer my opinion. The man's face carries the impenetrable nonchalance of a lifelong gambler, but even so you spot a hint of curiosity, hunger even, deep in his glittering eyes. Can you come look at the device? Canadu would never forgive me if I left him alone. He might end up having to talk to someone. When that happens, he's in a mood for days. I take it that means you don't have it on you. Are you sure I can't convince you to come look at the device? Not a chance. I need it here, sure as water falls and dust rises. I don't have it on me, no. Can't help you fix something I've never seen. Sorry, friend. Okay. Let's go take a look at this thing. The cage in which the creature floats is a simple frame that contains a shimmering, nearly transparent cylinder of energy. It emits a low hum, barely audible, that sets your teeth on edge. The container is a delicate filigree of ornate materials with no apparent controls, but surely they must be hidden somewhere in the traceries and protrusions of their wirework. You approach the cage cautiously. The monster within looks like a fungal blob matted with muscular ichthyoid. Ichthyoid, so it's like a fish-type thing. Its multiple tentacles terminate in syringes, needles, and injectors. Jesus Christ, that's terrifying. This mass sits atop and is integrated with a floating orb of some type. It seems to be both mechanical and biological, with one system flowing smoothly into the next, a creation from some mad nightmare. The energy field darkens protectively and automatically as the creature throws itself at its walls, thrashing and striking mindlessly with its needle-tipped tentacles. The darkening is almost a strobe-like effect. Even as you watch, one of its tentacles coils back and blasts furious plasma at the walls of its cage. The cage holds, but the shields dim to prevent any radiation from the blast escaping. What are you? The creature redoubles its efforts to strike at you, its limbs a flurry of rage. How did you come to be here? It draws away from the edge of the energy field for a moment as if gathering its thoughts, and then launches itself at you, rebounding off the deceptive solidity of the cage. Its tentacles flail wildly, the needles at their tips glinting and oozing. What can you tell me of this place? A dim light builds under the nycthermeron, the orb at its base glowing brighter and brighter. Two tentacles stroke it, and they pull out a streamer of bright lightning. They stretch it between themselves, building in intensity, and they hurl it at you. The walls of the cage darken instantly, and when they lighten again, you see the monster within flailing and crashing fruitlessly against its invisible walls. Can you understand me at all? Examine the cage. The cage appears to be made of a mixture of synth-spun strung glass and a lightweight metal intricately embroidered to create mind-warping patterns, evocative and strange. Energy shifts and flickers among the crevices, somehow being shaped by the form of the materials. Your closer examination reveals a small panel worked cunningly into the frame of the cage. Some of the filigrees here are worn and smooth, as if slowly eroded by friction. Perhaps these are the controls. Touch the cage. You reach out to the cage, your fingers hovering over some of the cunningly worked materials, and then you lay your hand on the cage. You close a circuit in the energy somewhere, or you become a part of it, and strange energies jolt through your body. The shock hurls you away from the cage. Alright, well, what else can I do? Examine the cage again. We want to touch the smooth spots on the panel. The cage's hum dips lower for a minute, throbbing almost at the limit of your hearing. Your bones and teeth ache briefly, and everyone within 3 meters of the cage claps their hands to their ears. Are you trying to kill us all? Leave the cage alone! Do you even know what'll happen if that thing gets free? Try just one more time. I guess not. Can I do? Let's see. This large body you freeze, it's not his dark or its sledgehammer, it's that beneath his mustache and goatee, he is so ugly that he'd scare his own mother in a dark alley. Oh, jeez. I really am hoping that I can set this thing free and accidentally kill this city. Here stands a man who enjoys the boredom of standing guard in the company of his own thoughts. I'm looking for someone who can repair a device. We don't know anyone like that. We aren't from around here. El Ginto says that he could do it. Alright, screw you. I don't even like you. You there, crier, what have you to say? A stall fars into the reef. Hundreds witness the spectacle. It was me! Hi there, Levy. Are you a person that I want to... Autochthons. Otacon. Is unhealthy, this language. Is chewy and full of strangeness. Gorga, you are drunk. Is boring, this circus. Should go to another bar. I like the way you think, friends. I thought these are boxes. They should have loot in them. Should definitely have loot in these things. Ooh, I could get meat and stuff down here. Let's go check out what's going on down here. Talk to Jerem. Alright, whatever. Prata, what have you got for sale? In the shadows cast by the folds of this merchant's cowl, you glimpse hints of verdant chitin and amber mandibles. This is the bug lady! Her voluminous robes cannot hide the fact that her movements are off, as if too many joints inhabit too little space. But her voice is a warm, tumbling flood of spoken thoughts and impulses. A fair afternoon to you. Warm, isn't it? Something begins humming in one of her many pockets, and her brilliant, multifaceted eyes flicker towards an invisible point in the distance. Well, not as warm as it could be, but this is the warmest minute of the week by a considerable margin. Oh, you have one of those tattoos, too. Anyway, can I interest you in some prime artifacts? Dusty relics? Numenera of uncertain origin? He looks like that pale woman. No, you're right, Birdie. Not looks. Smells. You appear to be transforming into an insect. Complex machine. Ooh, I'd love to. Complex machines are my favorites, but... No, I shouldn't. I'm really behind on work orders this month. This may surprise you, but I'm very, very, very easily distracted. You're better off with someone else. Sorry. Are you sure you can't help me? Quadruple sure, she says cheerily. You said someone else had my thing. Oh, right, a pale lady. She wanted me to fix an artifact of hers, but I couldn't make any sense of it. That is rare, believe me. I felt sorry for her, to tell you the truth. She seemed sad, like she'd lost something and was never going to get it back. And she wouldn't say what she'd lost when I asked her. I know I could have helped. What else? Morgan asks, is otaku culture still relatively taboo in Japan? It actually was never really taboo. The idea that you'd have... Well, Japanese otaku and American otaku are two very different things. Japanese otaku is just somebody who is obsessed with a thing. American otaku is someone who's obsessed with anime and that kind of stuff. So the otaku culture here is not really looked down upon. I mean, it's seen as a little bit weird, but it's never really that taboo. Unless you're like a porn otaku or something. I don't know. You appear to be transforming into an insect. I know, isn't it fantastic? I think it might be caused by the intermingling fields of the Numenera I use to organize my thoughts. Or the ones I'm selling. Maybe all of them. You never know how a variety of ciphers will interact with each other. They are such fun. Tell me about the Numenera. Oh, it's simple, sort of. Preta pulls 3 tiny Numenera from her robes, a buzzing bird figurine, a green music box, and a circular spring. I have too many thoughts. If I tried to hold them all in one brain, I'd just stand and drool, you know. So each of these have a slightly different purpose. Which one do you want to hear about? Tell me about the bird. Bird is pretty simple. If I'm running with a great thought I don't have time to complete, I shunt it into her so I can pick it up back later. She does make everything smell like berries, though. The music box? Jade Box is a tough old lady. If I'm rolling with a more complex line of thinking, I bring her up and she chomps the individual ideas and feeds them back to me. I try to use her as little as possible because she gives me headaches. No, what's the opposite? Head eases? Anyway, they're worse than headaches because you can't go around thinking everything's all right. It's bad for your health. The spring. That's Rounder. She's a bit scary. I can shunt a bunch of thoughts into her, but she doesn't process them. She just gives them back to me, slightly changed and infinitely better than when they went in. I try not to use her much. It feels like cheating. I want to buy one. I hate to say no, but I've had them since I was little. They're practically family. Okay. What do you have for sale, then? Alright, well. Can you tell me anything about the city? No! I'll do better than that. Tell me anything about this place that worries you, and I'll make it better. That's a guarantee. We do love to help, don't we, Rounder? What part of the city should I see first? All of it. Take it from me. Everything is worth seeing, even the boring bits. Take your time, talk to everyone you meet, and keep your eyes open. What part of the city should I see? Let's see. Morgan has another question. Follow-up question. How many love hotels have you been to? I've read enough doujin to know that guys with glasses always end up in one with a ridiculously attractive girl or trap. As it turns out, I've been to one love hotel, but I did it alone. I needed a place to rest for a little while, and I was in the middle of the city, and I didn't find any good places. So I just went in and got like a 2-hour thing and slept. Would not every spring be circular, or at least helical? No, there are some that double back on each other and are a 2-dimensional kind of squiggle that can be pressed. So those count as springs as well. Let's see. Are there any dangerous areas I should avoid? Not at all, Preta says, waving her claws at you. I heard so many rumors about how the underbelly was ruled by vicious thugs, but when I went down there to make a trade, no one so much as glared at me. Of course, they were probably worried I was going to snip their heads off, but the underbelly is fascinating and worth the risk. Most everywhere is. Do you? Tibir says, looking over at her shrouded hands. Snip heads off, I mean. You don't seem the type. I might be. I never had to find out. She's my favorite character. I wish I could get her in my party. Think I could get a discount on your goods? Well, you know what? I'll give you a discount on everything I carry from now until the last star in the sky collapses. Oh, you know, one of us dies. Can't do a thing about that. Let's talk about something else. I want to use that discount. What have you got? Spray flesh, yes. Illustrated force, okay. Fleetfoot moss. Encephalic rush. Contingent subroutine. The next time this character is reduced to 50% or less in health or any stat pool, automatically That's awesome. Holy crap, that's really cool. What are you? Third man. You are... Wow, just a full party heal. What do we got? Cryophorus Dart. Wow, 20 chemical damage? Holy crap. Okay, you're 54, and you are 78. Makes sense. Phased detonation. Prey sector. Huh. Interesting. What do I have here? Nah. And you're not really carrying anything good. Huh. What I do need is some more frickin' armor and stuff. What's over here? This stall stands empty, deep ruts in the layered rugs hint at heavy furniture, hastily removed when the last occupant vacated. Jerem, what have you got to say? The child skids to a halt and rubs his forehead with a grimy forearm, leaving arrow tracks of dirt across his ruddy skin. Hey, Shuva, he pants, shading his eyes from the sun. Never seen you before. You called me Shuva, what does that mean? Huh? Really? You never heard of it? Has that changed, too? It sounds familiar. It's a nickname for adults. Not a mean one, not really. Some adults are nice to kids, right? Pat the head, here's a flower, a bit of Nash, whatever. But some aren't so nice. They curse, they shove us aside when we're in the way. Kids remember shoving more than smiles, right? So, shover, that makes sense. Good, at least some things are the same. Do you like playing in the market? Not always, but it's better than school, eh? And I like watching Zalfie make sculptures, the ones that go sharp and curly. Reminds me of the monster on the side of Scarahol. What is that? Yeah, Shover. It's just a building at the center of town. 1,000 hands tall with a mural on the side like Zalfie's sculptures, but flat and in purple rock. Don't think you're going to miss it if you're looking for it, eh? Why are you so dirty? I don't know. Padja and Kellinor make me wash twice a day. Guess the dirt likes me, eh? Don't your parents worry about you? My parents? You mean Padja and Kellinor? They're watching me until my Mard and Ciro come back for me. What do Mard and Ciro mean? Ha! Mard, Ciro, my parents. You asked me about them. Padja and Kellinor are taking care of me until they come back. So he is a time traveler. You keep using words I don't recognize. I'm not allowed to tell adults about that, or where I'm from. Don't ask, eh? I'm in so much trouble I'm not even sure what I did. Oh, I hate to see this. Such a bright and promising lad, and he's already keeping terrible secrets from his elders. What? No, it's not like that. It's nothing rancid. I just promised I'd stay quiet, right? You shouldn't be ashamed of the truth. Tibir nods in solemn agreement. You can't help but noticing that he looks somewhat ashamed. Of course, because he's lying to me. All right, I guess I can tell you, but you can't spread it around, all right? Tell me about where you're from. Here, Shava, I'm from here. It just up and changed without me. Interesting. I grew up in the Downs. My parents lost their spots on the work chain and we went to sleep hungry more and more. Neither of them could look at me without crying. But everyone in the Downs was starving. It wasn't anything new. People started using that archway more and more. The Downs have changed too. I can see it on his face. What are the Downs? Indigo? Oh, Blue Tide. Okay. What the fuck are the Tides? Ah! If you weren't in the families in the up, everywhere else was the Downs. Inside the wreckage, we dig deep looking for food first, warm second. My neighborhood was inside this curvy spiral. If you've ever seen paintings of a seashell, it's like that. I knew it. What is wrong with this place? What about this archway? Big thing. Always good smells coming out of it, too, like roasted meat in sunny days. I used to watch it, but I was never sure what it was for, you know? And the parents in the Downs never talked about it either. Then one morning I saw Corner, a friend of mine, and her Maud go up. Maud gives her a kiss, sends her through, and Corner never came out again. Know what did, though? Music? Close, Shava. Lovely guess. But no, it was a metal ring. Didn't look to be worth much, but every once in a while you'd hear Corner laughing. Wherever she was happy, right? Handful of days pass and my Maud takes me for a walk, too. Said she'd find me when they'd save the money, kiss me, and push me through it. Woke up outside another archway up in Government Square. Paja and Kellinor were waiting there for me. They're not so bad, but I keep hoping my parents will stop by to visit, even if they don't have the money yet, right? Try to laugh a lot so they can hear me, though. Ha! Mard and Ciro. It means parents, Shava. Thought everyone knew that. Why do you like Zalfi's stall again? Okay, so let's talk to these people and find out what they're doing. The couple stands together, their shared gaze fixed away from me. No words pass by between them. Instead, they share a silent language of tenderness. Their bodies turn subtly toward each other, forming a private space between them. His hand reaches for hers. Without looking, she claims it. Still looking past you, they smile together. His is a curving line carved in oak, hers as unabashed and radiant as a lantern on a starless night. He's so beautiful, I hope we're a good home for him. You see the object of their attention, a young boy darting between the stalls and playing in the dust. Yeah, okay. But not is all entirely well here. Your sharp eyes notice their knuckles whitening on their joined grip and slivers of sorrow or fear in their eyes. Their child's joy seems to be a source of pain for them. Is that your son? Yes, he says firmly. He's still watching the boy, but a wary stillness has spilled onto his posture. Not yet. We adopted Jerem, and we're waiting to see how he feels about it. Aren't we, Kellinor? Go away, huh? Why did you decide to adopt? Well, Kellinor and I, we've been together for how long? Years. Let's see how long this one lasts. And we knew we wanted children, so we tried and tried. We tried a lot. Some days I barely had time to put my clothes on before Kel took them off again. I like this, I like this story. Well, there was poor Kel practically falling asleep on the shift, forgetting his trousers half the time, and me with nothing to show for it but a glow on my cheeks. Clearly, we were working with a barren field. Or faulty seeds, does run in the family. So we decided to find a child who needed a home rather than getting old trying to make one of our own. Sorry, I'm gonna need more details? What kind of a dick does this? More than adequately. I thought so. We get asked this question a lot, and finally we found that being explicit about the process made the questions just melt away. What brings you here? Jerem likes it. We don't have much time between shifts or money to spend on fripperies, so we bring him to the market we can and watch him play. It's better than a night at the theater. Huh. Jerem told me about the door. Had to pry, didn't you? Calm down, Kel. Stranger, can we convince you to leave this alone? Please, for the sake of our family. If Jerem finds that, I'm terrified to think about what will happen. I'm not convinced you haven't kidnapped the boy. Ooh. We don't have to tell him anything. The more we argue, the more likely Jerem will overhear. Hey, look at that. Jerem got here through the House of Empty Time. He comes from Sagas like us, only centuries in the past. I frickin' knew it! That's why his speech is different, why he remembers places that aren't here anymore. Keep this to yourself. We'll tell him ourselves when we find a way of letting a child know that everyone he knows and loves is long dead in dust. I'll kick the skist out of him if he ever breaks my heart. Huh. I promise that I won't... That's awesome. It's either, I promise that I won't tell him, or I promise that I won't tell him. Huh. I won't be the one to tell him, but you should, and soon. You're right, and we will, I promise. Tell me more about the House of Empty Time. We don't know any more than we told you, she says, shrugging. Find the house's keeper and ask her. Her name was... Alcyn Puri, keeper of the House of Empty Time. You might find her in Government Square. So we're looking for Alcyn. Thank you, Kel. I couldn't hold on to a name if it was buried in a bag of shins. Anyway, the very moment we decided to adopt, she was knocking on our door. We were nervous, but you can't argue with the results. Alright, farewell. Edible metals, newly forged and molten, huh? What have you got to say? I'm out of stock right now, but pre-orders are available. Broken dreams on sale. Razor sharp regret or dull remorse. I want to buy some of that stuff, man. Alright, let's talk to Zhao Fi. He seems like a cool dude. And we've talked about him a couple times as well. This portly man's cracked and bleeding hands are always moving, picking fretfully at his thick lips, running through his thinning hair, or molding aimless shapes in the air. His clothes are marked with paint, dust, dried blood, and clay. His eyes brim with frustrated tears as he studies the strangely familiar sculptures arrayed about him. A soul like slivers of ice, he mutters. Fingertips long, shriveled, sharp, screams trapped in flesh. She holds him in place. She's killing him. He's not looking at her. Why? Why isn't he? Afraid? No. What am I not seeing? What am I missing? Who was he? I really like the way that this game goes. It's a very story-rich game, which I understand would be difficult for some people to watch. But I like playing it, and I think it's quite fun. A potential customer? What? No, you're not. No one wants these. They're honest, but ugly. Death pulled from dead stone. And I wouldn't sell it to anyone in any case, not even for a tuft of bread. None of them are worth buying. None of them are right. I am Zhao Fi, stone carver, sculptor, divine painter of living eyes, and in this challenge, my greatest work, my talent has finally abandoned me. Behold my art, wanderer. Witness these dull stumps, these crude replicas of a sublime being. What is it you think I've made? An anemsis. Oh, could do that. Try to recall why the sculpts look so familiar. 60%? You've fully depleted one of your stat pools. You can find a place to sleep. Continue. Ah, I didn't get it. Dang it. 60% was not good enough. A sea creature attacking a swimmer? Maybe. A sea creature, he says. He thinks I couldn't etch tangles of kelp or the ghost-like wisps of currents. He thinks such subtleties are beyond me. It is meant to be a portrayal of a man and the predator that devoured him. Memory immediately clicks into place. This towering thing is the true form of the creature that pursues you. Zhao Fi has sculpted the Sorrow. I saw this creature on a cold night long ago. Smoking currents of blackened light drew me to my window. And there on the street below was she, gripping a man in her talons. Ooh, this voice is going to screw me up. Before my very eyes, she ripped his essence out of him, leaving him a steaming husk. But what do you care? You don't grasp the importance of capturing such a subject. I've seen aspects of her. You think I'm trying to sculpt the killer? Of course I am. I've succeeded, in fact. She is beauty and vengeance incarnate. What artist worth his medal couldn't capture such a being? But she doesn't need to be remembered. How could anyone forget such a lethal creature? No, the source of my ruin is this damnable man! He stared eternity in the face and did not blink, but he will be forgotten unless I capture him here, and I cannot do that unless I know what drove him. The moment he fell, I ran for the street, but the Dendra O'Hur claimed his body and took it away, probably to their felled chapel in Underbelly. Now I'll never know who he was. What about the creature that killed it? What a surprise! Yes, let us ignore the incandescent flare of the stranger's brief life and focus on his murderer. She's so much more glamorous. That's what you want, isn't it? That's what everyone wants. Like so many, he wants flash and flourish, but humanity is what truly inspires. The creature is hunting me, too. Read a book, then. Pester a scholar with your questions for all the good it'll do you, and then when the beast claims you as well, spare a prayer for the artist who will drive himself into a grave trying to capture your final moments. If I learn anything about the subject, I'll let you know. I think that is where we're going to end it for the day. We're going to save it here, like that. Alright. Yes, it is a D&D type game. It's set in a world that D&D has at one point been set in before, called Numenera. The setting is called Planescape, and the world is called Numenera. It's a fantastic little game. I really like it, but I have been playing for an hour and 21 minutes, and I haven't had breakfast yet, and it's 11:30 in the morning. So, I think here's where I'm going to cut it. It's a super fun game. I've played it on stream twice now. You can go back and watch those if you want to. I need to make some thumbnails for them, though. Anyway, yes. Alright, well, I think that's going to do it for me today. Thank you guys very much for coming and watching. Look for more of it, not tomorrow, because tomorrow I have work and then D&D, but next will be the day after tomorrow, yes. So, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. You know what to do with all the stuff, the buttons and all of that. I would say go and support me on Patreon, but I'm looking at trying to move away from Patreon right now because of the weirdly underhanded tactics that Patreon has suddenly implemented, which is losing a ton of people their patrons for it. So I'm looking into other different crowdfunding stuff. We'll see. We'll see what we got. Anyway, thank you guys very much again for watching. Catch me again later. I will see you next time. Bye!